Hello everybody, welcome to another video on where I share my travel experiences. I've made this little mini series where I'm sharing my experiences, suggestions, and general insights from each country that I have visited. So today I'm going to speak a bit about Malaysia, which I've been before in 2012, more than 10 years ago, and I've been there for the second time in 2024, a couple of months before. So as everywhere else, I have written down some notes, some experiences and insights, and I have those to share with you in case you're planning to go to Malaysia, or if you're interested in the country, or if you're planning to visit Malaysia soon at some point. And while I speak, I'm going to check my notes as well. So you might see my eyes sliding down a little bit. That means I'm looking at my notes. And I'm in my room in South Korea. The light is not great. It's a hotel room. So I try to do the best with the light over here, light over here. So the production might not be perfect, but it is more about the idea and what I'm saying. I'm using my microphone, so the sound should be okay. So my notes about Malaysia are these. Well, first of all, I was really happy to be back in Malaysia again because I have remembered what an easy country it is, what an accessible country it is. And I've experienced that from the first moment I landed at Kuala Lumpur. I flew to Kuala Lumpur, if I'm not mistaken, from Cambodia. And the moment I landed to KL, Kuala Lumpur, the airport experience was amazing because I have been to a lot of countries where I really enjoyed, but the arrival was a pain. By that, I mean, you either wait in the customs a lot or the luggage part a lot, or they ask a lot of questions. So, but usually the problem is it's very slow. Like there are like 100 people that were waiting in line, like everyone is questions, like, why are you here, blah, blah, blah. So I understand, but it takes a lot of time. So even though like the flight takes around 2 hours, sometimes you end up waiting at the airport 1 or 2 hours. But in Kuala Lumpur, that was not the case because what they do in KL Airport, Kuala Lumpur Airport, which is one of the biggest airports in the world, is for some passports, for around like 30, 40 passports, they have the e-check-in, which means, for example, I'm a Turkish passport holder. And the moment I landed, and I didn't know that before, the moment I landed, I have seen this sign. There were like 30 to 40 flags, including the Turkish flag. And there it says, if you are from one of these countries, or if you're traveling with the passport from one of these countries, you can just scan your passport and pass through customs, which means with my Turkish passport, I just scanned it. There's like a usual customs clearance for the rest of the passports, and there is the e-passport part gate. So you go there, you scan your passport, and it checks out. It takes like 5 to 10 seconds. The doors open, and they say, "Welcome to Kuala Lumpur." So you do not interact with any officials, which is fantastic. It took 5 seconds to enter the customs, and that was it. And then there is the declaration part. Nobody asked me what I was carrying. And yeah, I was in the airport, and then I picked my luggage up, and then that was it. So from the airport experience, everything in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, almost everything was very accessible. You take a high-speed metro from the airport to the city center, super easy. Then I called a Grab, which is like Uber for Asia. And yeah, I went to my house. I was staying with a friend who works in Singapore, so I had my own place as well. So everything was perfect. I really enjoyed Kuala Lumpur. And one of the things that I enjoyed, apart from everything being super easy, is that the prices are good as well. Like you can have a decent lunch or a dinner for $2 to $3. Of course, there are places with higher prices, but like a local place costs around that much. For like $5, you can have a good meal. For $10, you can have a real good meal. Just to give you a reference point, a Big Mac menu is around $4 to $5. But in a local restaurant, you can pay much less as well. And one of the things that I like in Kuala Lumpur as well, it is a pretty developed country. And when you walk on the streets, nobody bothers you. It's not like nobody tries to sell you something. Nobody tries to hustle you. It's one of these countries like nobody bothers you. And it's very important as a tourist because in many of these countries, in Asian countries mostly, when you go as a white guy, like as a Western person, they see you as like a potential client immediately that they can sell you something. So they try to solicit something or they try to hustle you in many of these countries. And at some point it gets quite boring or exhausting. So I like that's not happening in Malaysia. And the English level, almost everybody speaks perfect English. Not everybody, but almost everybody speaks very good English. and almost everybody speaks a decent level of English as well. So you can communicate everywhere. There are also a lot of expats in the country, so you can see a lot of Indians, Pakistani, Bangladeshi working in stores, and they all speak English. One of the things I noticed, though, which is a negative part, is there were a lot of manholes on the street. So manhole means, like, for non-native speakers, it's like sewer on the street, but usually it's sealed, like with a round metal thing. But in some pedestrian roads, they had like a manhole completely empty, like a couple of meters deep. So if you accidentally stumbled upon it, you would fall and you could seriously injure yourself or even die. Actually, on the news, I heard an Indian woman fell in one of these manholes and she was stuck there like for around the day. So that was very strange for such a developed country, because they didn't even like seal it. They didn't put a sign saying, be careful, watch your step. There was just this huge hole there. And if you didn't pay attention, like if you walk checking your phone, then it would have been a huge issue. You could be seriously injured or even die. So that was a very big negative point on such a developed country. I was surprised. And Malaysia is a Muslim country, as you know, but there are a lot of different religions as well. I know there are a lot of Buddhists, there are a lot of Hinduists, there are a lot of Christians as well. So the religion is not imposed on people. Like, you can buy alcohol, girls can walk around with their skirts, so you don't feel the religiousness. So it is mostly an Islamic country, but yeah, it's not subjected upon people. It's not forced upon people. So that was something that I enjoyed as well. And as I said, the English level is really good, so you don't have to speak the local language. For example, right now, I'm in South Korea, and it's very hard to get by without a translator or without knowing a couple of Korean words, because nobody speaks English. Almost nobody speaks English. But in Malaysia, almost everybody speaks English, so it's very easy. And as I said, Malaysia is an extremely easy country. I guess especially that's the case for Kuala Lumpur. You can order, it's like the US mostly. You can order everything. There are apps like, I forgot the name, but apps like Temu, which is like Amazon. So you can order everything you need, t-shirts, shoes, blah, blah, blah. You can also order food from Grab. Grab is like Uber, but also they have like Grab food, like Uber food. So you can order food there. You can call a taxi from Grab and it comes, and they're all very cheap. So you can live in Kuala Lumpur all your life without leaving home, because you can order all your grocery shopping, your cab, your taxis, your food, your t-shirts, your outfits, everything. Everything is, you can order through those apps, which is not the case in many of these countries as well. So, and they have great internet as well. I guess it's one of the countries that has the best bandwidth, and I really enjoyed it. And it's really important for me as someone who works digitally. So I like that. And in general, I felt good in Kuala Lumpur. Like, when I was there, I was feeling like, I could live there. So it's one of the countries that is very safe, very developed, not expensive, like Singapore, for example, very accessible. And there are also like metro connections, subway, metro mostly, not subway, metro connections everywhere, but the taxis are cheap as well. So yeah, I did really enjoy it. And again, most of the countries that I've been, almost every country that I've been, I'm like, I enjoyed visiting this place, but I don't say the same for living in these countries. So I might have enjoyed one country or a city as a tourist, but I don't always say I would live there. But Kuala Lumpur was one of the countries where I said I would live there, I could live there, and maybe I will one day. But in general, I really enjoyed Kuala Lumpur, the city, for the second time. And then before, I've also been to Malacca, and I would love to visit Malaysia more. And it is a place that I wouldn't mind living, actually, because yeah, I did enjoy my time. So definitely recommend it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't only share about traveling, I also share about improving your English, how to become a world citizen, being more productive. So I feel like I have something for everyone who would like to create a better version of themselves or become a world citizen. So if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like. And if you have any questions or anything you want to ask, anything you want to say, please write it down in the comments. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you in the next video.